Alright, let's see where this is going. So first, as you see, I'm showing the back end of the digital gauge cluster and all its features. Hi, and welcome to Alsound Mods channel, where I'll demonstrate modifications, events that I go to for car shows and stuff like that, interviews for people in the community, and all the special abilities that I've done for this car, parts I might be manufacturing in the future. So don't be shy of that subscribe button and check it out. Episode 1, DigiGauge. Alright, so here right now I am removing the fastening screws. I recall there are 8 of them. They're all Phillips heads. I believe they're P2. And then right here I'm showing the electronic coupler to the rest of the printed circuit. This is what relays all commands from the main wiring loom that goes into the car and the kick panel. And it's got a little plastic clip, so you'll need a toothpick or an actual pick to kind of dislodge it underneath, and then it should slide right out. And then once that's undone, you just gotta kind of put it inside the case a little bit, kind of like you see I'm doing right now, and they're able to take the faceplate off. And in this case, I'm gonna move it aside so you can get a better view of what we're working with. So now you see the main screen, your display, with all your readouts, and it's held on by 5 bolts. In my case, I have 3. Over the years, unfortunately, I have lost a fair amount of fasteners. They will be replaced later. It's just all the little details, they take time. In this particular part, I'm trying to find the right bit. I go through P2 and a few other fasteners and find a little bit of agitation finding the appropriate ones. There I found the correct one, so in this case I'm able to remove the right, left, and center fasteners. Most of them are still P2s, but occasionally a few of them are a different bit size. Unfortunately I've forgotten, but a multi-bit Kate will take care of that. And as you can see, I'm using multi-camera angles to try and get as much coverage and content as I can deliver. And as you all know, I planned to have this out literally a week ago. So I am thankful for everybody's patience, excitement for this project coming through. Thank you for all. Oh, and so at that point I took off the front face cover, and then they got a little plastic deal to block off the empty space in the casting and cover up the mileage deal. And then you see the actual LCD, and it is held in by 4 screws, P2 or otherwise. And this, if you will, is the heart of the digital gauge cluster. And again, at this point I'm reiterating that there are 4 fasteners holding the screen and assembling it. which there is the main LCD screen and the outside temp LCD screen. I'll probably end up replacing the missing fasteners with what other spares I have for the time being. At this point, I start to lift out the LCD screen assembly out of the plastic housing. And at this point, I'm showing the housing naked without the LCD, and the fact that the speed sensor is actually built into the gauge cluster, not on the transmission like other manufacturers, mostly Nissan or Honda. Subaru thought the brilliant idea of actually having the speed sensor built into the housing assembly, making it where they can reutilize older setups like the Speedo cable. Again, they're very genius, thinking way ahead of the box of basically using the parts bin as much as they could. And because of this, it passes on the savings on us. Now at this point, I'm showing that there is a metal case, if you will, over the LCD screen. This needs to be removed to do further maintenance or change colors. And all you have to do is you take a flathead screwdriver or a plastic tool and you pry up on the metal tabs. This lifts the metal case out of the way, and then you should be, with little effort, able to remove it. Here you can see the close-up, so it gives you a better angle. And in this case, I'm using a small flat head screwdriver. I'm experimenting with side-to-side and up and down movements, but for the most part, I'm usually doing side-to-side or twisting motions. That pops that off with ease. And at this point, I'm revealing the screen naked, outside of the case and everything involved. And it has these strange little ribbon covers that transfer the electrical signals from the base to the LCD. And now I'm showing off my, well, what was the filter. You'll see it again from this other angle. At this point, I'm reaching into my toolbox and getting a plastic tool, as I did not want to risk using a flathead screwdriver and possibly cracking the LCD screen. That was made 38 years ago and cannot be replaced. So yes, you can work on these, but please, under all deals, use extreme caution. These are, of course, old and very delicate. They can be modified with a steady hand, but just be careful. Like in this case, I try my best to lift this straight out of the case. This puts as little fatigue on the ribbons as possible, keeping them attached to the LCD. And at this point, I'm peeling the filter off, which unfortunately part of the filter did really stick and take some of the deal off of it. Fortunately, did no damage, it just took some of the graphic off. But the LCD screen does fortunately function as before. And at this point, I'm griping because it was a thicker plexiglass guard that I made, filter that was supposed to be see-through, was crystal clear when I made it and installed it. And apparently 2 years out here, and 110 to 129 degrees has somehow crispied that thing like bacon. So at this point, I'm just baffled that it is that badly damaged. And so at this point, I just explained that this is part one of the digital gauge cluster episode for maintenance and modification, and that I will be doing a part two. Again, apologies for the slow production, but it's taken me a bit of a learning curve to get this going. And again, greatly appreciated to all my friends and fans. Have a nice day, and see you on the flip side.